Are you tired of jumping into an MMO and not knowing what to do? Running around like the village moron trying to figure out how to get started? Staring at your character then just deciding to eat cake while contemplating how to get stronger, faster, and more badass? Well, here's a guy that is going to help you get started in ESO. What's going on, guys? So welcome to my beginner's guide to ESO. So I'm going to be going over a lot of stuff. I'm going to try and keep it somewhat short, maybe 25, 20 minutes, something like that, if not less. But I want to give you guys as much information as I can. Now, I'm not going to be able to go over every single thing in this game because it's huge. There's a lot of stuff to learn, but for the most part, I'm going to give you all the important tips to get started in ESO. Let's begin. So, what are the perks to playing ESO? You have freedom to build your character however you want, freedom in the world that you want to explore, great PvE, fun PvP when it's not broken, in-depth crafting, fun combat, and you can become a Twilight character by being a vampire or werewolf. Sparkles. There's also a lot of great people on PC anyway. So setting up your skills when you're first starting out can be pretty important. So what you want to do is you're only going to be accessing a few abilities so far. So don't worry about passives for a little while, at least until you get to maybe level 20, 25, 30, in that area. So what you want to do is you want a couple damaging skills, maybe 2 or 3 damaging skills. You want an ability that either heals you or sustains you, and maybe 1 utility. You're only going to have 1 bar at that point. Once you unlock 2 bars, generally on your back bar you want all your utility and healing, and then on your front bar you want some CC and some damaging abilities. So decide what skills you want to use for your character at the beginning, and also make sure that you know what build you're going to be using in endgame. Look up some builds online, there are tons of them out there, and those are the abilities that you want to start building up first. Once you do that, once those abilities are leveled up, then you can start leveling other abilities that you may or may not want to use later on in the game. The next point I want to make is how to level up effectively. Now, for your first character, this isn't exactly how I would recommend to level up, but grinding is a very viable way of leveling up and probably the best way to level up. Now, what you can do, if you know some friends that are playing the game, you can ask them to craft you some training gear. That would probably be your best bet. Either that, or you can find it out in the wilderness while you're killing stuff. If you find it, equip it. It's going to help you level up faster. Now, you're going to want to find a couple locations to grind at. Now, I have some grinding videos that'll help you with this to find some locations, so go and check those out if you are looking to grind. And if you want to do that as well, see if you can get someone to give you some XP potions, or if you have crowns and you became an ESO member, then you will actually be able to buy crown experience scrolls. That is one of the first things I did when I started playing on PC when I switched from Xbox. Alright, on to the next thing. So the next thing that you want to do almost immediately is get a mount as soon as you can. Now, as I said before, if you got some crowns, then maybe you want to spend some of those crowns on getting a mount. If not, it's going to cost you about 10k gold to be able to get a mount. Now, a lot of people wouldn't have a problem actually lending you 10k gold. There's a decent amount of nice people in the game. Some are assholes, yes, but there are some nice people. When I first started on PC, someone actually gave me 10k to be able to get a mount because they know how shitty it is, you know, just going around to way shrines. Which brings me to the next point. Start unlocking way shrines as soon as you can. Any way shrine that you see on your map, go to it, unlock it. It may be useful later on in the game. You never know when you're going to need that way shrine. Now, once you hit level 10, you'll gain access to dungeons. So dungeons will give you a daily bonus reward of a decent amount of XP. Usually it's about 1 level, depending on if you're wearing training gear or if you have experience potions. Now, you want to do these daily dungeons every day to be able to maximize your leveling. Also, it gives you some pretty useful supplies as well, so it'll also get you early on learning the dungeon mechanics so that you're able to run them on veteran mode once you're CP 160 and level 50. Now, the next thing that you want to do is everything that you find out in the world, you want to keep and then sell. you pick up pretty much everything. Any of the crafting materials that you see, you might want to keep for later if you feel like you're going to be crafting a lot. Definitely just grab everything that you can. It'll be useful later on, I can almost promise you that. So loot every single thing that you kill, and pick up everything you see lying around in the world. Even the lower level materials are worth a decent amount, and you can get rare crafting materials out of them when they're refined. So pick up everything. Now, my next big tip would be, if you're just starting out and this is your first character, then you might actually want to take it slow. I know that sounds weird, but with the implementation of one Tamriel, it actually is viable for you to do every bit of content at low level. You can do anything you want. Other than PvP, I wouldn't recommend going into PvP at low level. You're going to get wrecked. So you want to take the time to get sky shards. Everywhere you see them on the map, get sky shards. Take the time to do the story mode. Some of the main storylines give you extra skill points, and you're going to need as many skill points as you can later on while you're leveling up. The next thing you're going to want to think about is getting add-ons. Now, some add-ons, if you're on PC, are very, very useful. As you can see here, I've got the Sky Shard add-on. That shows me exactly where all the Sky Shards are. I've got the Lore Book add-on. It shows me where all the Lore Books are, so I don't have to look it up and, you know, just search around and spend wasted time doing that. I've also got add-ons for my UI. I've got add-ons for crafting, I've got add-ons for information. There's a lot of useful add-ons out there, so if you're playing on PC, I would recommend checking some of them out and downloading them. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is try and get into a guild. The only way to actually trade items through this game is through the guilds. Now, the way that you find a guild is pretty simple. You can type into zone chat and just say that you're looking for a guild. There's almost always a guild that's willing to recruit, and if you need a guild that actually has a trader, just type that in as well. That's what I did, and I happened to get into Loots R Us, which is a very good trading guild. I'm also in another guild that I actually play with a lot. So get in a guild as soon as possible. It's definitely going to benefit you in the long run, and there may be people that are willing to help you level up and help you out with learning the game as well. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is an optional thing. If you don't have the money, then don't worry about it, but if you do have the money, definitely look into getting ESO Plus. It gives you access to all the DLC, it gives you crowns to spend every month that you subscribe. When it renews, it actually gives you 1,500 crowns, so that's pretty nice, and it can be used to buy a lot of different things. You get access to the custom dyeing stations. You get 10% bonus to experience, crafting, trait research, and gold acquisition. So these benefits are awesome, but the one I'm going to really highlight is the craft bag. That in itself to me is worth the $15 a month because it's got unlimited space and you can put any amount of crafting materials in it. Now, I've accumulated quite a bit of crafting material over time, so yeah, this is my craft bag. People that have been playing on PC longer have probably way more than I do, but I've got a decent amount in here. Definitely craft bag's worth ESO Plus if you want to invest into it. Now, the next thing is, max level is not your actual end game. It's your big milestone, at least on your first character. After that, you get champion points, which is in the screen that I'm looking at right now. Now, the maximum amount of champion points is 560. 564, 561, something like that. I have not even hit max on CP myself. It takes quite a long time. Now, your biggest mile marker after 50 is going to be champion point 160. That's when you can start using the best gear in the game, and that's really when the game starts to begin, in my opinion, when you can finally use all the best gear. Now, don't get me wrong, now before that there's plenty to be done. You can still be viable at certain CP levels, but 160 is your biggest milestone. Now, the good thing about this is if you decide to make more characters, then your CP actually transfers across your account. It never goes back down. You're always going to have that amount of CP on your account for every character. Now, if you get it up high enough, the next character that you level up, it's actually going to make it quite a bit easier to level because your character is going to be stronger than other players that level. Now, as I said before, guys, there's a lot to learn in this game. This is just a few quick tips for you to get started. I think what I've given you is some decent information, some decent tips. If you have any other questions about, starting the game up, definitely leave your comments in the comment section below. Like this video, subscribe. Check out my other videos on my channel. I have a lot of helpful grinding guides, gold making guides, class build videos, and class overview videos if you haven't even made your class yet and you want to know which one would be the best one for you to play. Now, I'm going to be making more build videos, more crafting videos, more gold grinding videos, more XP grinding videos, so definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.